They told us silence was strength. It told us real men don't feel, don't cry, or don't speak. But here's a question. What if silence isn't strength at all? What if it's the very thing that's been slowly just wearing us down? There's a lie so deeply interwoven into our culture that most men don't even realize that they're living inside it. Now, the lie goes like this. It says, real men don't talk about feelings. Strength is silence. Pain is weakness. Keep it hidden at all costs. And so, we believed it. We adapted. We stayed quiet, we nodded our heads, and we coped. We numbed out, and we buried what hurt. And then we called it maturity. But it wasn't strength. It was suppression. It was self-abandonment. And over time, it cost us pieces of ourselves, of our hearts, of who we are. You see, you weren't born believing this. You learned it. Maybe your father never spoke about what broke him, or granddad. Maybe your grandfather, drowned his pain instead of naming it. Maybe the men around you only spoke through sarcasm or silence or anger. So when it was your turn to feel heartbreak, and we all have, to grieve a loss or to rage at how unfair life can be, well, you didn't. Because somewhere along the way, you were taught that's not what little boys do, that's not what men do. And, of course, you believed it. Not because it was true, but because there were no other models. No safe places, no shared language, no permission just to be human. We mistook silence for strength, but what it really meant was that we were trying not to be rejected. And here's the truth. Silence isn't strength, it's containment. It isolates, it hardens, it convinces you that pain must be carried alone. It, unfortunately, cools marriages and thins relationships, turn fathers into distant figures. And when that bottled up pain finally leaks out, it doesn't look graceful. It looks like exhaustion or anger. It looks like men walking away. Now, not because they want to, but because they simply can't breathe anymore. See, silence isn't noble. It isn't inherited trauma. It's disguised as control, and it costs more than we ever admit. Real strength isn't how quiet you can be. It's how honest. Let me repeat that. It's how honest you can be without collapsing in shame. It's being able to say, I'm not okay, and remain intact. It's allowing emotion without turning it into some performance, letting tears fall without explanation. Strength, real strength, is choosing connection over isolation, truth over endurance, wholeness over appearance. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you real. And when one man gives himself permission to speak, others around him feel permission to simply to breathe. And sometimes it's for the first time. Now, this is how the legacy of silence ends. Not with shouting, not with oversharing, but with honesty, with one man telling the truth, risking being seen by others, but refusing to disappear any longer. You don't need to broadcast your pain. That would be foolish. And you do need to be careful with who you tell your pain about. You've been strong in ways that they cost you. Now you're allowed to be strong in ways that actually can restore you. And that begins with a voice. That is your voice. Not to accuse, not to justify, but to reclaim. To reclaim the boy who learned to shut down, to reclaim the man who endured without witness, to reclaim the right to feel and still be respected, still standing, still healing, still learning that silence was never strength.